A dedicated researcher named Emily stumbles upon an obscure manuscript while sorting through dusty archives in New York City. The manuscript hints at a long-forgotten curse tied to a tomb hidden somewhere in the vast deserts of Egypt. With eager hands, she flips through the fragile pages, discovering cryptic warnings and strange hieroglyphs that swirl with the promise of adventure. References to the Book of the Dead, the pyramid texts, and accounts of forbidden rituals jump out at her, drawing her deeper into the enigma. At first, unraveling this mystery feels like a thrilling puzzle to Emily. Each new line she deciphers sends excitement racing through her veins. However, as she digs deeper, an unsettling pattern begins to emerge. News reports echo through her mind about experts who studied the same text, only to vanish without a trace or suffer strange, unexplainable misfortunes. A renowned archaeologist named David, who passionately lectured about the very manuscripts she now holds, mysteriously disappeared last summer just as he was about to reveal startling findings. The logical part of Emily's mind urges caution, yet the pull of this ancient mystery proves too strong to defy. Determined to uncover the truth, Emily grapples with what drives her relentless quest. Is it the thirst for knowledge, the allure of potential fame, or a deeply personal desire to connect with history? Each motive swirls in her mind, creating a whirlwind of ambition and fear. As she continues her journey, the first sign that the curse might be real emerges, a withering leaf she finds lodged between the pages of her original manuscript, its veins brown and crispy, as if impacted by an unseen force of decay. This small detail sets off alarms in her mind. It could be a mere coincidence, or it could be proof that the tales she's read are not just myths. With a mix of excitement and dread, Emily resolves to follow this trail further, knowing that with each step, she inches closer to secrets long buried beneath the sands of time. The stakes have never felt higher, yet her passion for discovery ignites a flame within her heart that spurs her onward. The world of curses and echoes of the past lures her deeper into its grasp, but the looming sense of danger serves as both a warning and a challenge. Will she embrace her search with an open heart, ready to face whatever the truth may bring? Only time will tell as she straddles the line between the known and the unknowable. Emily embarks on her investigation, diving into the depths of ancient burial sites around Cairo, fueled by excitement and a slight twinge of anxiety. The dusty sites call to her as hidden secrets and rich history wait to be uncovered beneath age-old stones. Each morning, under the bright sun, she sets out with tools and notebooks, ready to decode cryptic texts and embark on an adventure like no other. Guided by her passion and a faint hope of illuminating the darkness surrounding the curse, she feels alive as she scours the landscapes and documents. However, with each subtle uncovering, strange occurrences begin to shadow Emily's pursuit. Those aiding her, her loyal friends and dedicated research assistants, start to complain of unexplainable illnesses. Jesse, her tech-savvy friend who makes the audio recordings of their findings, suffers from sudden migraines that seem to hit him like waves from nowhere. They affect his ability to concentrate and lead him to doubt the project entirely. Emily's other close friend, Lisa, shares haunting dreams filled with ancient symbols and dark figures lurking on the edges, shadows she cannot shake off. One day, to Emily's horror, Lisa simply vanishes. She is there one moment, and then, she's gone without a trace, leaving behind only confusion and fear. As these fears mount, Emily cannot brush away the growing sense that an unseen force is observing her every move. The once fascinating world of research now feels fraught with uncertainty. She cannot help but further question her intentions. Is uncovering this mystery truly worth the cost? As she wrestles with these doubts, she experiences crackling moments of electronic malfunctions. Her laptop refuses to start, words vanish before her eyes, only to be replaced by strange symbols that make her skin tingle. The voice recordings made by Jesse pick up eerie whispers unintelligible to her ears, drowning out even her internal thoughts as they occupy her mind. The climate of her research becomes foggy, teeming with moments of second-guessing. Skeptics around her dismiss these fears as coincidences and merely the products of overexerted imaginations. They remind Emily to focus on the science and rational explanations, but doubt like a pestilent thought should never linger uninvited. Deep down, Emily starts to wonder if she should abandon her pursuit. Each troubling sign adds weight to her heart, compelling her to look back towards safety and normalcy. A momentary whirlwind of self-doubt circles in her, urging her to retreat. But her courage whispers a different story, reminding her of the fascination and knowledge waiting to unfold. Determined, Emily chooses to push forward, still clinging to the threads of the manuscript's promise. In her next venture, she stumbles upon a weathered stone tablet half buried in the dirt during her exploration of a lesser-known crypt. It stands out from the rubble, its symbols matching those she has studied so intently but revealing their secrets with undeniable clarity. With shaking hands, she carefully brushes away the sand and debris, which feels like an act of reverence towards the past. This tablet could be the major clue she's been looking for, illuminating patterns or spells that might hold the key to understanding the curse or dispelling it altogether. Finding it fills Emily with a renewed determination, urging her onward in the face of adversity. Perhaps what lies at the end of this path will connect her deeper with history and break the chains of fear that interfere with her instincts. The shadows might press in around her, but in taking this critical step, Emily's heart beats stronger, propelling her forward as she uncovers the truth behind the curse. Emily's heart races when an enigmatic message arrives at her email inbox, a shadowy audio recording accompanied by an anonymous voice. It speaks urgently, warning her of a sealed chamber beneath the Necropolis, a sacred place where the ancients are believed to have hidden their secrets away for thousands of years. The voice hints at legends of a guardian spirit or some ancient force said to watch over the tombs and protect their hidden knowledge. The warning is clear: some things in the world should never be disturbed. Rather than feeling disheartened by the abrupt intensity of the situation, a spark of excitement ignites within Emily. This is precisely the clue she needs to dive deeper into the truth behind the curse. Like a well-prepared detective, she meticulously examines the message for clues, and with each detail, her confidence begins to blossom. Although warnings of dark guardians breed whispers of fear, she chooses to take this chance. Faithfully following the clues laid out in the cryptic message, Emily gathers her remaining team, including Jessie, who still struggles with lingering headaches but is eager to help. Together, they drive to the Necropolis, a sprawling district full of expansive tombs waiting beneath the sun-soaked sands. As they reach the foreboding entrance, Emily's heart pounds not just with apprehension but also with a bolstered determination. She can almost hear the whispered encouragement of history urging her onward. While exploring the dusty passages, they work tirelessly, mapping areas based on hints from the recording. Emily's energy draws forth memories of tales she'd read in childhood, fables where heroes journey into darkness with unwavering resolve. The moments spent in dusty crypts and echoing halls challenge her in ways she didn't foresee, but with every small victory, her belief in the journey swells. When they identify a hidden passageway behind a wooden concealing board, her laughter lightens the weight of their mission. It feels as if the very tomb celebrates their dedication to the search. Yet, her exhilaration turns to dread as they delve further into the passage. The air grows dense, almost static, and tangible tension fills her chest. The signs of something otherworldly start presenting themselves. Equipment malfunctions intensify, Jessie's camera flickers eerily, consistently blurring whenever it points toward a specific wall covered in ancient symbols. Then they catch a glimpse of a fleeting shadow darting between the columns, too fast to identify, a figment of their imaginations or harbinger of something far darker. The supernatural events escalate further with terrifying intensity, leaving shivers racing down Emily's spine. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream echoes through the halls. Lisa, who had recently rejoined the group, vanishes before Emily's eyes. They had held hands just moments earlier, and now an empty space remains where she stood. As the echoes of panic begin to fade, Emily's courage melds with fear, gripping her heart as understanding dawns. They surely weren't alone here. Tension electrifies the air, heightening every small sound, the creaks of ancient stone and the rustle of dried leaves underfoot. Who or what is watching them now? Goosebumps pepper Emily's arms as she grapples with the thought. But amid the disorienting currents of fear and confusion, a haunting call drifts through the air, whispering Lisa's name. It begs her to confront the unseen power threading its way between dimensions. Standing at this crossroads, can they still turn back? As fear swells within and challenges her strength, Emily is determined to match it with her developing confidence. The pursuit has become more perilous, but so, too, has her resolve to understand the curse deepening by every heartbeat. With bated breath and trembling hands, Emily finally breaches the final barrier, stepping into the long-hidden chamber. Excitement and trepidation mingle in her chest as her eyes scan the vast room. Before her are ancient murals that seem to throb with life. Their colors, once vibrant, still tell a horrifying story, of power struggles, treachery among gods, and a curse designed to trap something beyond human understanding. The images twist together like dark vines, wrapping her mind in their unsettling narrative. Intrigued yet troubled, Emily approaches closer to the murals, tracing her fingertips over the cool stone. It feels sacred and dangerous at once, as if the walls are alive with memories waiting to escape. The air shifts subtly, stirring around her as shadows flicker in the strange, silent room. She feels a sense of being watched, not by the eyes of the past, but by something timeless that is not eager to share its secrets. A chill races down her spine, and her instincts scream at her to turn back. However, the pull of curiosity outweighs her fear, bridging her to an unseen line she no longer knows how to cross. Suddenly, with a sound that echoes like a grunt in the stillness, a pressure settles around her. Something distinct responds to their very presence. She exchanges worried glances with Jesse, his face mirroring her unease, and yet they both feel an undeniable connection to this moment. The research has morphed from an academic endeavor into something far more potent and perilous. They are now part of the ancient tale. As Emily shifts her gaze to another mural, she is struck by a scene depicting a figure being engulfed by dark tendrils, the caption translating as, "What is bound must remain." The context hits her with formidable impact. Sweat beads on her forehead as the realization settles on her. This curse is real, and its implications devour her thoughts like the shadows before her. She has unlatched a door to something insidious, and with each heartbeat, she senses its hunger. That haunting image ignites a torrent of worry. The darkness surrounding the murals seems to grow, reaching for her with invisible fingers. When Jesse fumbles with the camera, it sputters to life and momentarily illuminates the perilous shadows lurking at the edges of the chamber. Moments later, the lights blink out once more, plunging them into obscurity. In that eerie silence, fear bites at her soul. Do they still believe they can escape whatever lies hidden? Emily's chest tightens as dread coils up around her, forcing shallow breaths. Each second feels elongated in the vastness of the chamber, and her heart races with a desperate question: are they safe, or have they awakened something that they cannot unearth? The wildness in her heart tells her to flee, while a fierce determination fights to remain there and uncover the truth. In the dimness, whispers flicker against her ears, cryptic warnings or snippets of unplaceable voices lost in time. She can almost discern names, aching with weight and power, but the words elude her, wrapping tightly around her mind. Is this speaking entity an echo of the past or something that binds through time? The tension thickens, leaving no room to run, although Emily's resolve strengthens with each passing moment. If the curse breathes still and seeks to bind them, she must muster the courage to confront their fears and explore this shadowy tale to its very end. She won't let this story end with unanswered questions. As the shadows swirl in the chamber around her, Emily's mind races to piece together every fractured part of the unfolding story. Suddenly, she hears a familiar voice cut through the tension, startling her. It is David, an experienced mentor who had long advised her during her research. No longer just an academic consultant, he appears in the doorway, eyes darkened with urgency. The panic on his face sends a jolt through Emily, as if someone pulled the strings of her heart. "Emily, we need to talk," he says, stepping into the dim light. His oddly casual demeanor from before now feels disingenuous as he hesitates, his gaze darting to the ominous murals. Before she can question him, David reveals shocking truths. "I didn't want to say anything, but I knew more than you thought." His voice trembles slightly, revealing the anxiety beneath his calm facade. Emily feels a rush of betrayal mix with her fear, a trusted ally should never hide vital information from her. What do you mean? She demands, her heart heavy with the weight of revelations yet to come. David swallows hard. The curse, it's not a punishment for grave robbers like you thought. It's much worse. It was meant to keep something sealed away. Something dangerous. His gaze drops to the floor as if the very stones carry the weight of his secrets. Legends warned of that ancient force using the power of curses to imprison a dark entity. It was entrapped long ago, but drawing near to them in this place disrupts everything that's kept hidden. Emily's breath catches as the implications sink in. A chilling wave washes over her, pulling her deeper into her distress. The puzzle pieces align negatively. Her findings had not just disturbed this ancient resting place but have stirred something restless. The thrill of discovery feels hollow against the truth of her action. As if reacting to thoughts they never intended to unleash, supernatural disturbances kick into a higher gear. The air buzzes with electric tension that vibrates through the very stone beneath their feet. Dark whispers fill the chamber, amplifying into chaos. Frightening sounds surround Emily. Stones scratch against one another, and shadows coalesce as if ready to burst forth. Jessie, still grappling with the camera, suddenly becomes paralyzed by fear. A fleeting glimpse of something unseen blurs before his eyes. Emily, we need to get out of here, now, he shouts, panic blaring in his voice. The realization hits hard, they have unwittingly set into motion forces they cannot comprehend. In chasing knowledge, they've awakened something far more dangerous than imagined. Is it too late? Emily asks David, her voice unsteady. Desperation threads through her mind, driving home the urgency. Is the entity too powerful to contain again? David's expression is grim. I only hope to protect you from the truth. We must seal this chamber again, and quickly. With racing hearts and surging fear, they grab each other's hands. As distress pulls them tighter into their chaotic reality, time slips away from them. The dark energy churns at the boundaries of their perceptions, pushing against their will to leave the chamber. Can they manage to trust in one another amidst the chaos and spellbinding danger? Fear intertwines with determination, and Emily knows they must unite to shield not just themselves but the world beyond from whatever looms in the shadows. The real battle has just begun. As the walls of the burial site tremble ominously, Emily feels the true weight of the curse bearing down on her. The ancient stones creak and moan, as if the tomb itself is rebelling against their intrusion. Dust floats in the air, catching the dim light as cracks snake across the chamber floor. The unease that had pressed against her before now swells into something terrifying. Figures begin to emerge from the shadows, their forms at once familiar and frightening. What was this ghostly assembly? Spirits of the past or dark memories risen to seek justice? Fear tightens around Emily's throat as time stretches thin. She's faced with a monumental choice that will determine the fate of everyone present. Stand and fight against the unleashed force, risking her own life and perhaps the lives of her friends, or flee and carry the burden of what they've disturbed while the dark power wreaks havoc on the world beyond. The air thickens, and wails echo in her mind. Just beneath the surface, she can hear their cries. In that split moment, every ounce of knowledge she gained feels like a fragile thread empire dangling by a desperate hope. Emily steels herself, drawing from the courage she found throughout her journey. The murals had warned her, she couldn't allow this presence to escape into the world above. David. Jessie. We have to try to contain it. Emily's voice rises above the chaos, clear and commanding. This is our responsibility now. With desperate urgency, David nods in agreement, his face set with determination. Jessie hesitates, fear clouding his eyes. But what if we fail? He implores, panic rising in his voice. We have to try. Emily insists, pushing past her own doubts. We can't leave this. The world can't handle whatever emerges from here. Binding their energies, the trio gathers around the remnants of the chamber's entrance, now shrouded in flickering darkness. Emily focuses her mind, channeling the knowledge from the manuscripts, mixed with the powerful emotions of anger and regret. They had released the curse, and now, it was up to them to contain it once more. Writhing wisps swirl around them, choking the air with a sense of impending doom. Emily voices the incantations she deciphered, whispering their meanings as they emanate power. With each syllable, the darkness seems to recoil, but the figures emerge closer, morphing into horrific, ancient forms, twisted beings caught between realms, mouths open in silent screams, shaping the space into a nightmare they once feared. Filled with adornments of ancient colors, their outstretched arms plead for something unknown, a craving that sends ice through her veins. No. You cannot escape this binding. Emily shouts, desperation fueling her words as the echoed chants of the past swirl in tandem with her incantations. But amidst this turmoil, the weight of exhaustion drags at her resolve. A sudden and tremendous rumble slams through the chamber, echoing her inner fears. The sacrifice of holding the unleashed force may cost them everything. As the darkness writhes and culminates into a terrible climax, a deafening crack splits the air, a keystone collapses above them, ready to bury all hope beneath the weight of the tomb. Run! David screams, but Emily knows, this is no time for escape. In accepting the worst within herself, she chooses to see it through. With one final word that commands power, she feels the surge of the curse latch onto her. Curiosity and dread intertwine in that terrible choice, sealing her fate. In the final moment, shadowy tendrils wrap around her, linking her current existence with something far greater. The entire chamber trembles violently, crumbling, nearly swallowing them in the growing darkness. Emily's decision rushes into reality, a blend of commitment and terror. Sealed by her choice, she grips tightly to her allies, fully bracing for whatever comes next. Emerging from the crumbling tomb, Emily feels the weight of the past pressing down on her. The air outside is bright, almost too bright, a stark contrast to the darkness that lingered inside the chamber. Although she has survived the chaos, she is acutely aware that she is not the same person who stepped into the tomb days ago. A heaviness sits within her heart, engulfed by thoughts of their frantic struggle to contain the curse and the figures that shadowed them. As she takes a deep breath, hoping to cleanse herself of the darkness, she's immediately jolted by strange visions that flood her mind. Images flicker in her vision, tormenting her with reminders of what they had unleashed. She sees fleeting glimpses of the shadowy tendrils reaching for her, pulling her back into the depths of the tomb. An unshakable feeling of being watched creeps up her spine, a sensation so intense that she begins to feel it pressing on her chest like an unseen weight. Reality blurs as the remnants of that sinister darkness cling tightly to her spirit. Days pass, and while the outside world continues its rhythm, Emily struggles to reclaim her normal life. But it is clear that something refuses to let her go. Friends and colleagues notice her unease, and those who witness the events unfold share similar feelings. Jessie confesses to waking up suddenly, haunted by nightmares of the chamber's twisted figures. David reports seeing flickers of strange light at the corners of his vision, reminders that the darkness has not vanished. It brings Emily deep discomfort knowing they are drawn into this unseen struggle, just like her. In efforts to break free from her troubled mind, Emily tries to destroy the research that brought them this cursed knowledge. She gathers every paper, every transcription, every recording and attempts to erase their existence. Smoke chokes the air as she throws the materials into a fire, watching intently as flames swirl and consume the physical representations of her troubled path. Yet, to her dismay, the knowledge remains alive, it refuses to be erased. Strange visions invade her thoughts as she stares into the fire, swirling with patterns of ancient symbols as if the very essence of the curse is woven into her being. The moment becomes eerily suffocating, signaling the first clear sign that Emily can never truly escape what she has uncovered. The curse, intertwined with her very identity, has taken root in her mind, leaving indelible marks that go deeper than skin. Even as the pages burn, the imagery envelopes her, the knowledge now feels painfully etched into her consciousness. Emily realizes that the whispers they heard in the tomb were not merely voices of the past, they have woven themselves into her reality. No matter how hard she tries to suppress the memories, shadows of what lurks beneath the surface worm their way into every moment, every quiet hour where she hopes for sanity. This realization sends chills down her spine, anchoring her soul to a truth she cannot run from. With every drop of her resolve shaking against the current of despair, she begins to understand that her fight is not truly over. The curse follows her, morphs, and continues its haunting presence as if it has chosen her as its vessel. The crossroads become stark, and Emily grapples with the belief that no matter where she goes, she cannot simply outrun the past she has encountered. Her journey now shifts from discovery to something more profound, a quest for understanding and acceptance, confronting the shadows that have become an unavoidable part of her reality. Desperate for a solution to the relentless grip of the curse, Emily immerses herself in forbidden knowledge. Late at night, when shadows crawl across her walls, she finds herself drawn to texts that speak of rituals long hidden from the common eye, spells and incantations meant to counteract the energies that now define her life. Hushed whispers and dark legends offer her hope while tangling her deeper in uncertainty. One particular legend captures her attention, detailing a ritual that claims to purify the soul from dark influences. Yet, as she studies its leads, she senses a weighty truth buried beneath each word: the ritual comes at a steep cost. It isn't just about supplication or quiet reflection, it demands sacrifice, and the thought gnaws at her as she considers the necessary steps. As Emily uncovers the intricacies of this ritual, pieces of past betrayals gather clarity in her mind. David's earlier admission haunts her, his withholding of information feels all the more potent as she reflects. Could he have known about this ritual? If so, did he hide it to protect her from its prices, or did he have another reason? What if he holds the missing key to harnessing this dark power and using it for her salvation? Consumed by her thoughts, Emily grapples with her swirling emotions. The betrayal she once brushed off now feels like a slap of truth she cannot ignore. All the times David stood by her suddenly shift into something darker, she wonders how far he would go to regain trust. Do these new revelations shift their dynamic to something even more precarious? The specter of personal sacrifice looms ever larger as she envisions performing the ritual. In truth, the greatest cost could be the very essence of her identity, the love she feels for her friends, her passion for uncovering the past, or even the hope that drives her. Would she be willing to endure a transformation that might sever the emotional ties that ground her in the present? The thought sends icy fingers tracing along her spine. Still, the knowledge boggles her mind with desperate whispers of urgency. Without intervention, the curse would continue to twist her existence into something irrecoverable. Play it safe and succumb to darkness? Or forge ahead and wrest control back from the clutches of despair? The heavier the panels pile on her heart, the more she feels the shadows closing in. The next day, driven by determination, Emily approaches David. She needs answers, and if he bears any secrets that could lighten the path, it is time for him to speak. Maybe he is the key that ties her to this lost knowledge, maybe in this tangled web, they can find their way back together. David, I need to know everything you know about the ritual, she states, meeting his gaze with unyielding resolve. There's no room for half measures anymore. As David hesitates, pain etched across his face, Emily senses the stakes rising. The realization blooms within her: to defeat this curse will require confronting not only the darkness around her but also the shadows within her circle. She can no longer view her journey through the lens of innocence. This battle requires grit, acceptance, and moving forward even when fears coalesce as stone walls. Will she be ready to embrace it, regardless of the toll it demands? In the quiet aftermath of these thoughts, she steels herself for the challenges ahead. The answers she seeks may change everything, pulling her deeper through the rabbit hole of darkness and rewriting her understanding of sacrifice and strength. She is poised on the brink of a new dawn, a chance to reclaim not just her future but everything that corrupted it. The risk will undoubtedly be great, but deep inside her, a flicker of hope begins to spark. Maybe through loss, she can rewrite her fate after all. Emily stands on the threshold of a new dawn, the cool air whispering through the cracks of the ancient tomb as she completes the final steps of the ritual. Clutching the stone amulet she crafted, she watches the flickering flames dance before her, revealing the swirling shadows that once held her captive. The air thickens with electricity, and she feels a surge racing through her veins as she uncovers the truth of that ancient power. Making her choice was not an easy task. She has willingly faced painful sacrifices to break away from the bonds that chained her spirit. The intense energy fluctuates in the chamber, shaping itself into a choice, a shift that brings clarity to what once seemed engulfed in darkness. As Emilienne's voice recites the last words of the incantation, she feels lightness fill her body. The curse begins to lift, its jagged edges transforming beneath her touch. But does lifting the curse truly mean freeing herself from its legacy? The shadows writhe, trying to resist her influence. It feels as if the curse calls for a different release, a hunger for the past that thrums beneath her heartbeat. In moments that stretch painfully, she grapples with the echo of darkness, knowing that what once ensnared her soul may never fully disappear. It becomes painfully clear that lifting the curse does not erase the dangers forged behind, for they hold the experiences that have shaped her into who she is now. As the ritual reaches its end, the chamber stills, allowing Emily a breath before time resumes. The oppressive feelings weighing on her heart fade like smoke, releasing her from the grasp that remained in the shadows. An eerie silence drops over the area, and she exhales slowly, contemplating the truth of what she achieved. Is the curse lifted, or has it only transformed into something different, perhaps grimmer and more insidious? Have the whispers settled into an unsettling calm, or do they now hint at a darker chapter yet unwritten? She can still sense the residue of the ancient entities lingering, swelling toward the remnants of the tomb, watching her from the craggy walls where their essence has lived for millennia. The curse is now a specter, its spirit continues to haunt the complex, twisting the tales woven through history. Yet the knowledge she carries is no longer a source of dread, it's intertwined with her. Outside the tomb, Emily feels the warmth of the sun on her skin, a newfound perspective bursting forth from the shadows that once consumed her thoughts. Surviving the ordeal has not erased the dimensional weight of experiences she now embodies, every heartbeat absorbs the pain and power of what she faced. The journey has transformed her, not into a victim of fear, but into a guardian of knowledge. Burdened only slightly by memories, she realizes that understanding comes with responsibility. Will she share her tale or keep it confined, careful to protect others from the brink they so narrowly avoided? Without fully knowing it, Emily has cast herself into the role of a protector, someone charged with revealing truths or misleading incantations to those guarded from the darkness. She feels the weight of the responsibility grow stronger with every step she takes away from the tomb into the outside world. As night begins to fall, shadows creep and a chill scents the air, coaxing a question from deep within. Will she truly escape what they uncovered, or will the echoes of the curse evolve into a darker metamorphosis? Under the veil of stars strewn across the sky, she glances back at the ancient ruin. A cold breeze carries whispers from the shadows, distant yet familiar, reminding her that they are forever tied. Maybe she has not broken the cycle entirely, and a legacy exists that will continue indefinitely, waiting. Or perhaps it is not the curse she fears but the knowledge of her link to it. Emily communes with history, promising that she will tread carefully with the ghosts of her past. As the darkness shifts behind her, she knows she is not merely escaping the tomb, she is embracing the journey ahead, forever connected to the enchantment that would haunt her even in her brightest moments.